Hello. I know it's been a while again. I was going to post a video every week, but just been kind of all over the place the last few weeks, and just haven't gotten around to shooting a video. Was going to post a short about some carnivore bars that I ordered, and wasn't happy with the video that I shot, so I didn't post it. I did upload it, but I did not share it to the public. But anyways, still got to do some editing on that. Maybe I'll post it later. It's just a short. But anyways, so just to give you an update on where everything is, diet-wise, still carnivore, still maintaining, flexing up, 2-3 pounds here and there, and just continuing to eat meat and feeling good. Doing my daily elliptical, 15-20 minutes every morning when I first get up, and then after that I just kind of play lazy for a while. Monday through Friday I gotta get my grandson up. Well, his mom gets him up and gets him dressed, and then she has to leave for work, but we got to get him on the bus. So since the last time I posted, my husband's he's not officially retired, doesn't retire until June 5th, but he's burning up his vacation this month, so he's off the whole month of May on PTO. So he's kind of like easing into, he's retired but not retired, if you know what I mean. We're doing the vacation. He's not working, but he's not officially retired. I don't know how else to put it, but anyways, so I guess technically my grandson, we have to get him on the bus Monday through Thursday. Once he gets on the bus Thursday, his mom doesn't work on Fridays, so as soon as we get him on the bus Thursday morning, we take off and we head down to our trailer, down to the campsite at Woodhaven Lakes, which I've been meaning to post some videos of us, walking, because we do walk the trails down there, and it's very relaxing, even just, sitting out in the yard in a chair while we're cooking on the grill, or just, chilling in the trailer, if it's raining or whatever, watching a movie, just relaxing. It's just nice to do something different than just sitting at home all the time. But so we typically go down there Thursday and come home either Saturday afternoon or early Sunday morning, so I can go to church on Sunday. And then Sunday after church, I go up and I do my dad's feet. He's still having to have his bandages changed on his toes daily. So my brother, my daughter, and I, we take turns on doing that. I do it on Tuesdays and Sundays. My brother does it on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, and my daughter does it on Friday. So if my brother needs me to do it more often, if something comes up and he needs to do something, he lets me know, and then I'll go up an extra day. Sometimes I go up on Monday and Tuesday. Sometimes there's been a couple times we've talked about maybe me doing it Thursday before we take off to go to the trailer, but we haven't done that yet. So so also, since the last time I posted a video, found out that my brother-in-law, who had a clean scan back in January after his cancer treatments, started having issues again, and they did a CT scan and found out that the cancer's coming back in his throat, and they discovered a spot on his lungs. So this past Monday, we had to go to downtown Chicago, Northwestern Hospital up on Huron. Like downtown, like just a couple blocks away from Lakeshore Drive. Anyways, my sister-in-law, she gets anxiety attacks, and the traffic just makes her a nervous wreck. And so my husband and I, volunteered to drive them up there. So we sat with them all day up there, because it was basically an all-day thing. He had to be there 7 o'clock in the morning to get a scan, and then his procedure to have the biopsies of the spot in his throat and in his lung. wasn't scheduled until 12:30. So then we ended up getting out of there. Good grief. I don't even remember what time it was. It was like 4:30, 5 o'clock we got out of there. And then, of course, it's rush hour. We didn't get home until 6:30. We left at like 4 o'clock in the morning. So it was a long day. And then to, be sitting in the waiting room, fortunately we were prepared. We brought our iPads. So, we watched YouTube, we played games, played on our phones. Fortunately, we had all of my husband, he brings a backpack, and he had coffee, and he had all the cords so we could charge things as things were dying out. And he has a battery pack that we can, jump charge if we did have problems with, finding an outlet to charge things. But so, and then of course, being carnivore, we brought cans of chicken and tuna packets and stuff to eat if we got hungry. So we didn't have to worry about what we were going to be eating. Didn't want to eat something that, was full of seed oils or seasonings that we couldn't handle. And so, yeah, we just brought some plasticware, which, didn't want to take your silverware and have to deal with that. But, took some plasticware and sat there in the waiting room eating our cans of chicken. He didn't want any of the tuna packet, but I guess actually mine wasn't a tuna packet that I had for breakfast. It was a salmon, same, little packet, just like the tuna, but it was a salmon, and it wasn't too bad. It was a nice change of pace too. But anyways, but my brother-in-law did get the results back. They did confirm that the spot on his lung is cancer. The spot in his throat is cancer. They just, he's just waiting to find out if it's the same kind of cancer. And then he has another appointment on the 29th to find out what their plan of action is as far as treatment, if he's gonna have to do chemo and radiation again or what. And hopefully he can, he was hoping to, be able to get his treatments locally, but because of his insurance, he will probably have to go to Warrenville, which is a good, half hour, 45 minutes, depending on traffic. And he goes up there, I believe it's daily or even every other day, which is, with the gas prices the way they are right now at $4.99, or basically $5 a gallon, that's a lot of money, and a lot of traveling and waiting and, going through all that again. He went through all that last year. We were hoping that all this, had been resolved and was good. So, I mean, if you feel that you want to, add him in your prayers, prayers are definitely appreciated. The more, people asking God for healing for him and peace and grace while he goes through all this, it's greatly appreciated. So still waiting to finish filling out the forms for my husband's pension. Got to get that submitted pretty soon. I been spending time reading through all the hundreds of pages of that stuff. We've got his pension paperwork that I got to go through. We've got to work on, we're looking at the timing of his Social Security and what we're going to do with the 401k and everything. So it's in all of it, a lot of it is timing and trying to figure out so it doesn't affect us, with the 401k, cashing some of that out. I had mentioned before that I cashed some of mine out to pay off the house and my car, and a couple of, smaller bills and stuff, but we're gonna have to cash out some more. Well, we're not have to, but we've decided that we're gonna cash out some of his. We're gonna add a deck and a room to our park model trailer down at Woodhaven, so we have more room and we can, have, because it's nice. It'd be nice to have an extra room with some another bed and stuff for when the grandkids come down, and that we're not all just piled in one big room. So And of course have a deck. And we sit out in the yard right now in the chairs and stuff, and that's nice. But when the weather's, when it's too hot and the sun's too hot, or if it's raining, having a deck would be really nice. So we've decided that we're gonna invest, take some of our money that we have in the 401k and invest in that. But I'm trying to figure out how to keep us from getting too much earned income credit for Medicare insurance purposes, because they go back 2 years to figure out what your payments are going to be. And just the first year that he turned 65 is whatever we are making this year. So want to try to keep that to where we're not in a 24% range. Currently we're like at a 12% tax range, and it's going to be close in order to get this deck added on, because everything's expensive anymore. Still working on trying to finesse our budget, still working on groceries. Of course, everything's going up with the price of gas. Food prices are going up because there's fuel surcharges, and it's just there's just a lot a lot of things to be thinking about and working on, and trying to plan and make sure that we're not overextending ourselves, but we're also wanting to get a lot of things while we can still afford to buy certain things or do certain things. We're planning on a vacation sometime in July to go down and visit some friends of ours that live down by Clarksville, Tennessee. We were looking at maybe flying down there because my husband's never flown, and he was saying, hey, why don't we just fly down there? That way we get down there in just a couple hours versus driving that would be between 8 and 10 hours, depending on how many stops we got to make and everything. So after looking at the price of round trip flights, we decided that we'll probably just go ahead and drive down there anyways, because even with the price of gas, it might be better just to drive down instead of try to fly. So but now fortunately, we get to stay with them, and we don't have to worry about a hotel while we're down there. The other thing is, when we're driving, we have an opportunity, if we decide that, we would just want to visit them a few days and maybe do some other traveling, we can do that versus, if we fly down, if we go to, because we were looking at maybe going down on Sunday and not coming back till like the following Saturday or Sunday. But, we were thinking maybe, since we're going to be gone for a whole week, go down, spend a couple days with them, and then spend more time traveling, going maybe into Nashville or going, further south, or, just driving around and checking things out. So, if we're going to be driving and getting a rental car anyways, maybe it'd be cheaper in the long run just to go ahead and go that route. And then we're not locked into when we got to fly back home. If we want to come home early, we can come home early, or if we want to take a little longer, we can take a little longer. So, but so we're still planning on that. So the only thing is like I told my husband, we had decided that we'd go down in July, and I'm like, well, that's like the hottest time to be down in Tennessee. He's like, well, we could always change it, but I don't want to push it out, because then, we push it out too far, then the grandson's back in school, and that can affect when we can go down too. So, and I don't know that July is much worse than if we were to wait until August. So I think July would be best. We can't go in June because he's in summer school, and he's only got a half day, Monday through Friday for summer school. So somebody's got to be here when he gets off the bus every day. So because his mom doesn't get home until like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and he's going to be out of summer school about 11:30, so you'd be back home by noon. So somebody's got to be here. So and then I've been watching a lot of the videos on YouTube about meat stock that just happened down in Tennessee, and I'm thinking maybe next year, maybe I should get tickets and go down there next year, because it's supposed to be in Nashville. And then, you know, we could make another trip down there next year and visit our friends, and maybe make the meat stock. But I would just love to, you know, meet a lot of these carnivore, keto and carnivore influencers that I've watched so much on YouTube, you know, Kelly Hogan and Sean Baker and Dr. Berry and Dr. Boz and Courtney Luna. I mean, there's a bunch of them that I've watched that I would just love to meet in person. And watching these videos, it's like, you know, maybe I should just go ahead and make the commitment, get the tickets, and we could plan on going down there next year. And then, you know, after spending the weekend down there doing that, we could go to, you know, our friends, or even go to our friends and visit them up to that point, and then go there and then come back home. So gotta think about that. And I would really love to do that. I know there's another, you know, like carnivore event in Chicago area coming up this year. Maybe, I can't remember, there was something, I was looking at maybe going to that, but there's something else going on at that time, and I won't be able to make it. I don't remember what it is now, but anyways, I'm hoping to go to, you know, one of them. I mean, no, there's multiples, not just meat stock, but I mean, there's other carnivore meetups and stuff. So I'm hoping at some point that I can, you know, my husband and I could go to something like that, and like I said, meet some of these people that we watch all the time on YouTube and that have influenced and encouraged us to follow the carnivore diet. I know I would love to meet Maria and Craig, because I've spent a lot of time watching their videos and a lot of time on their site as well too. So I've actually been kind of taking advantage of relaxing and kind of being a little lazy, you know, playing some games on the iPad and just chilling out. And but we do go for walks. Have been experimenting with some, you know, recipes and different foods, making homemade chicken nuggets out of either canned chicken, and roll it in dip it in, you know, make a patty, mix it up with some eggs, you know, make it like almost like a salmon patty, but make it a chicken patty out of the canned chicken, and dip it in egg, and then roll it in pork panko and throw it in the air fryer. You know, with a little seasoning, salt and pepper, you know, and cooking it that way. And those didn't turn out too bad. I bought some ground chicken this week, where I'm gonna try doing the maybe making a, you know, like a hamburger sized chicken patty. I finally got some of the milk powder, or heavy cream powder, came in, and I'm gonna work on trying to make some buns, like hamburger buns. I bought the silicone sheets that are preform for like bun size preforms, and I'm gonna try to make some of those this week and see how those turn out. Now that I have the heavy cream powder to mix that up and try that recipe out. Hopefully those work out as good as, you know, what I've watched on YouTube, and then we can use those for hamburger patties, or even the chicken patties that I'm talking about making. So I did try, like I'd mentioned, I had made a short on the carnivore bar. I'd gotten a sample pack, insider sample pack of a 50-50 mix on, you know, I got 6 bars that I ordered. 3 of them were the honey heat, and 3 were the fajita bars. I was concerned about the honey heat because it has cayenne pepper in it, and because of my previous issues that I'd had with Crohn's and having my colon removed, cayenne does not agree with me really well. Kind of burns things a little bit. And if they have the honey heat has the cayenne in it. Also, you know, with the honey, and not really carnivore, I don't know, carnivore-ish. That's one of those controversial ones. But anyways, I did try that. And it was a little uncomfortable eating it because of the cayenne in it, but it was still good. The fajita had, I think it probably has just a little bit of the cayenne in there as well. It's, you know, because I do notice that there's a slight spiciness to it, but it's not terrible. And, you know, I do like the carnivore bars. I'm not sure that, I do prefer just the plain salt carnivore bars. And then, of course, I did try the apple pie one a few months ago, and kind of thinking about maybe ordering 1 or 2 of those again. Those are pretty good. I mean, that's a nice treat, other than, you know, they're more keto than anything. But anyways, I just wanted to mention those. We did get another case of the sparkling element. I ordered a whole case of, well, not a case, but I ordered 3 12-packs of all the one flavor, the black cherry, the new sparkling black cherry 12-ounce cans. You know, before I ordered the lemonade, and then the pineapple, and then the black cherry. You know, I got a 12-pack of each, and we went through the black cherry like immediately. The pineapple was next, and then we just finished up the lemonade. But before we could even finish up the pineapple and the lemonade, I'm like, yeah, we need to get more of the black cherry. So I ordered like I said, 3 12-pack packs of that, and we've already gone through 1.5 of those, but those are really good. And it's nice change to, you know, pull a nice sparkling drink out of the refrigerator when it's nice and cold, and, you know, with the heat that's been, you know, on a nice hot day, like the other day it was 80 degrees, and, you know, come in and grab one of those and slammed it, and it was great. So, but if you have any questions, please, you know, like, subscribe, comment, share, and I will definitely try to do better posting more often. Just not sure what you guys want to hear, and I, you know, don't know that talking about the same thing over and over and over is very conducive to generate interest. So if there's anything specific you want to hear about out of all the things that I cover, you know, send me a comment. So thank you, and God bless.